Hi, welcome to One Community TV in the year 2022, week 3. The thing of particular note in the news of last week was that the former police station and the company offices beside it have now moved on to a number of revised planning applications, and they're looking now to go to 26 apartments to be built. That's 15 to go into the police station main building and a further 11 to go into the property next door. That's an increase of 3 apparently on the original or earlier applications, and to do that apparently they're going to go into the loft or roof space. So that is another public asset, if you like, that's being well, it's no longer available to the public. It's no longer there as a police station. The police station has been sort of amalgamated with the fire service across the road. It has an office, but if you go in, try to see a policeman, it tends to refer you to a telephone number, and you go online, and all the actual connectability of services with the community seems to be becoming less and less good. And as a result of seeing that, just had a very quick thought and noted down assets that have ceased to be for us as a community here in our town since I've come to live in it, and just run a few of the private ones that we've lost past year. We had, and this was slightly before my time, the Roundley Theatre burnt down in mysterious circumstances and ceased to be. The Cavendish Hotel, that wonderful building that was used in the 53 flood, was apparently virtually demolished overnight and disappeared. There was a skating rink, you may remember, down by the bus station, which we've also lost. The sort of more early or later things that have been lost has been the Walton GP surgery. That was closed a couple of years ago, just before the pandemic hit us. In addition to that, what we did have, and it was devastating for our high street, was M&S decided to close their what was deemed to be a successful store, certainly on the food front, and particularly looking at the demographic of our town. Many people did their food shopping there. That closed, but not only was it a store closing, it actually isolated a very convenient shoppers car park, which was able to gain access through Marks and Sparks onto Hamilton Road, and that really has damaged not only obviously Marks and Sparks isn't there anymore, but the shops serving in and around Hamilton Road. So that has been, and as of yet we've got no idea what may happen with the Marks and Spencer's site. I noticed recently, though it's been used for another purpose, the Roman Catholic Church up in Trimley closed down onto the mother church in the town. And what was the last on my list? Oh yes, the Ordnance Hotel. That was closed. It's been replaced, granted. There is now a Premier Inn on the site that the Ordnance was, but the English Heritage did fight on the basis that the Ordnance actually did have a lot of character to it, and probably with conversion could have been brought up to current day specs. But there you go. Those are just a few of the private assets. There are undoubtedly many more, and no doubt if you're a long-term resident living in the peninsula you could add a few. But the ones that are of more concern, I think, are those that we have lost that were public assets. And you may recall that the town station was very near to itself being demolished some considerable time ago, and that was a catalyst for the community coming together, and it created the Felixstowe Society, which keeps a watching brief on various planning applications and has been very vocal in supporting and retaining quite a lot of things in our town that are deemed to be of value to the community. I myself was involved 20 years or so ago of the needless, unnecessary destruction of Beach Station Road railway station, which you may recall was demolished, not a brick or a piece of wood left standing on Easter Sunday. You may recall that the Pier Pavilion was demolished to make way for the leisure centre development, and that particular building, the Pier Pavilion, had one of the finest floors for dancing, I think, in East Anglia. Was used for Miss East Anglia and all that sort of thing. It was our excellent hall to go to. We've not had anywhere of any significant size since that's been demolished. What is more worrying actually is the asset that was put there in its stead, the leisure centre, is itself apparently now under threat of itself being demolished. Tell me, how can we afford to use public money to build these assets which are then themselves have a very short lifetime? Going on from that, we now in our town are reduced to just one secondary school. So effectively you could say we have lost a secondary school. If we look at our tourist office, we used to have it in a fine building as a part of the town hall. It's now been reduced to being in a beach hut. I don't know whether you think that's adequate for a town that purports to be a thriving and growing tourist destination. I have my reservations. If I can give you a number of stations we've lost the ambulance station. Effectively the police station doesn't exist as a police station anymore. We lost the Coast Guard station, that became a part of the South Sea development. We've lost the bus station. We've lost so many stations, it's untrue. We've only got the town station left because of the action of the Felix Society in getting the whole site listed, so they were unable to knock it down. More importantly, I suppose, we lost that wonderful building, the Herman de Stern, which was one of the early provisions of formal convalescent home on the coast, and that was built here in our town by the de Stern family for the benefit of those, I think it was coming from the North London Hospital, probably TB sufferers, etc. But the one that's really the worst crime against our town and one of our finest patrons, Dr. John Henry Bartlett, is the Bartlett Convalescent Home. So that now is, as was predicted by quite a number of elderly residents in this town, it's become a luxury venue for people coming and buying assets in our town, whereas I believe during its lifetime it gave over 1 million night bed days to the community of East Suffolk. Isn't that a tragedy?